In this video, we're going to talk with Shawn Buckles about the 5 steps of actually creating a microsite to make a lot of money online. This is the exact system that you will get in the Rank Expand Academy. If you've ever heard of the idea of rank and rent or microsites or making passive money online with a website, this is it right here. So sit back. We're going to talk about each step in depth. It's just me and Shawn talking, who's the co-founder of the Rank Expand Academy. We've built this system together. We've built out 78 microsites. We know what works, what doesn't work, but let's just jump in. Basically, there are 5 different portions of creating the microsite, why it works, which we're going to go over here. So starting off, Shawn, what is step number 1?
Gonna be doing the keyword research, finding a good niche to serve. Ideally, that is low competition and underserved, and that is a real pain for people. So we want at least mid-ticket or high-ticket jobs. I think you once phrased it that we need jobs that are one-offs, that are like we pick up the phone, we know we want this service, we're willing to pay like $2,000. We set the appointment, and the contractor shows up, does the job, and that's it. That is the ideal niche, I say.
I think so too. So what would be like roofing comes to mind. It always comes to mind, but I don't think it's a good microsite niche. But roofing's great because someone needs a roof. They're going to pay 10 to 20 grand. It's going to be done in 2 days' time, and then they don't think about it again in 15 years.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That is a good one. Why isn't it a good niche for microsites? Is it because of the SERP, like the competition, the amount of map packs and ads and things like that?
Well, to be clear, before we built our system of microsites, I tried WordPress microsites for that niche. It works, but I just know how much harder it is. I'd prefer to just
Exactly.
do something easier, quite frankly.
That's it. So that is why this is such a beautiful model, right? It's just finding the path of least resistance. There are many jobs we could do and leads we could sell that are just as valuable and are low competition. Yeah,
So if someone's like, okay, microsites, I've heard you guys talk about this forever. I want to know more about it. Well, here's the plan. We'll have a little screenshot below me and Shawn. So step number 1 is ideation, which is the
hmm
keyword research. So when people join the community, they're met with a very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step flow. Keyword research, like what is the path to finding a good niche?
we want localized searches, so we need to find a keyword that is, as we said, a common sense keyword. So if there's no search volume, it's not the end of the world per se, but it needs to be common sense. It needs to be hyper specific, localized, and we have a very good tool for this in the community, by the way. When you come to the community, you'll get instructions to set up an SEO research assistant. So this is an AI agent that has access to actual keyword data. So it's not making stuff up, it's grounded data, as we call it. And so that is the best way, I think. Just chat with it, talk about your local area, talk about your ideas, and it will help you dial in the best opportunities there.
If microsites is not someone's jam, the research assistant still works better than most like Ahrefs, SEMrush, because you can talk to it. You can talk to it, have a discussion, and it's like you say, grounded data. It's not making up things, which is crazy. And that is usually the first step for anyone joining, right? That's what they build.
Definitely. Yeah. So just that research assistant alone, I still use it daily, and our people use it daily. And if you just have that tool alone, you could just, if you don't know anything about SEO, you do basic course on SEO, you have that tool, you could sell services on Upwork. Not a problem at all. I think it 10x's people's capacity for work. It's just so much quicker, but also way more insightful. If you can chat with the data instead of exporting a CSV and then crunching all the data yourself, it's just not very, it's not a lot of fun, to be honest. It's a pretty boring process to do. But chatting with it and finding all these angles and opportunities and then double clicking on it and, all right, tell me more about what the SERP looks like there. It goes out, it looks at the SERP, it tells you exactly we have this many map packs, and then you can say, all right, find me a SERP that has no map packs in this specific niche and location. It's wild. It made it so much fun to do SEO again for me.
I think common sense plus that tool, the research assistant, plus Google Keyword Planner,
Yes.
I think you're off to the races. You can find a good niche. You'll see what other people are doing in there. Oh, light bulb moment goes off. And the coolest part
Yes.
is like, let's say someone is selling hot tubs for e-com store. We're pivoted now. Well, if you go and sell hot tubs at an e-com store, you both are competitors because you're performing on a national level. But with microsites, we're performing on a local level. So if I do electricians in Baltimore, let's say that was the niche I'm doing, and you do it in electricians in Dallas, Texas, we are not competition.
No, we are not going after those primary keywords. And this I think plays very well into where SEO is heading as well. So the primary keywords, like the money keywords, the top level ones, those were the ones that everybody went after. National brands, local brands. But you play a different game if you go local entirely. So the competition pool is way smaller. We are not in direct competition with each other, so we can help and share data, which is fun to see as well. That levels people up very quickly as well, I think. And there's a different algorithm as well playing into that for local SEO. So it's just way it's like old school SEO in a way, I think, and the pool is much bigger.
It's kind of lit up my passion for it again because after helpful content update, that kind of sucked there for a little while.
It did
No
very much
fun.
so. I should probably print like the graph of my websites and like hang it on the wall just to remind me of the wild ride that's been. Yep.
All right, so I've got my niche. I'm sold. I know what I'm doing. Now what's next?
So next is going to be deployment of the microsite. So you take the base install, and we share that with everyone in the community. It's just a folder, and you drag and drop it. You upload it via any file manager or FTP software. There's no database. It's just files. It's like 50 megabytes or something, 60 megabytes, and it works instantly. And then you dial in the website settings. So you give it a couple of like seed information, the company name, the area, the services, and then you just start generating the content. And I think people are generating entire websites in like an hour or so, just the on-page content that is, and then images takes a little longer, but yeah, it's very fast. So you deploy the website, you set up the basic infrastructure, and then you are off to the races.
It's fast deployment, but the cool part is on top of that, it's fast speed. It runs circles around WordPress in terms of the speed of the website. In other words, if I load the website, like someone types in your keyword, they load it up, it's on. Like these things are
Yes.
fast. So it's a flat CMS system. It's custom. You have access to it in the community. It's not WordPress. It's not Webflow or any of these type of things. It's
No, it's
so
not as bloated. It's very, very, very lightweight, very nimble.
like listen, I'm not a developer. Like explain it to me like I don't know what you're talking about. Flat CMS. What the heck is that?
Yeah, so most CMSs, they have a database where they store all the content and all of the field values. And that means you have your files that are hosted, and then you have a database, and they need to communicate to one another. And that introduces lag and bottlenecks and loading speed issues and things like that. And then if you want to deploy a new website or duplicate the or migrate even the current one, you'll have to worry about the database as well. And this is where many WordPress installs fail and where all of the like issues arise. And so a flat CMS is just text files. It's just a folder and everything for the website is in that folder. If you take that folder, you download it to your computer, you upload it to a new host, everything works immediately. Nothing has changed. There's no database to worry about.
The coolest part is it's copy and paste from there, right?
Exactly.
So if you want one microsite, you figure out one. Once you go 5, 10, 15, we have 78 microsites. It's just kind of duplicating that process. It's just files.
Exactly. You can take a microsite that works very well, then clean it up, like delete the content, and then just duplicate that single folder over and over again and just generate the content for that specific site. So you set it up the way you like it, and then you just copy paste the folder. It's very fast.
In effect, that's what we do, right?
Yes, but we have a little bit of infrastructure that does it for us even. So we have, as they call a deployment pipeline. So I ping our CTO, I say, register this domain name and deploy a microsite. And then it fires off this little pipeline that registers domain name, uh, sets up all of the hosting because we use proprietary hosting, and deploys the latest code base for that microsite. And so I ping him, and like half an hour later, the thing is live, everything is done, and we can start generating content.
Now, for most people, I think the flow goes like go to GoDaddy or Namecheap, get a domain. You're going to go to where are you going to host the thing? Most people.
It's going to be one of the two big hosters. We want to take a bigger host to reduce footprint. If we have a smaller hosting company, cheaper hosting company, you could theoretically run into issues, but I'm not too worried about it. But we usually go with, for example, GoDaddy is a good one. Yeah, definitely.
Stinger. So
Yes,
just go to a big host. Therefore, you get kind of, I don't want to say, I want to use my words carefully. You're thrown into, if there's a thing of marbles, you're just one marble of a million marbles, right?
exactly. That is a good analogy. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's just to proactively reduce the footprint. Mind you, many people talk about this footprint and PBNs in the community, but to be very frank, we are not doing anything that is odd or strange, or so I'm not worried about the footprint at all. But it's just a preventative like measure, just to make sure that we don't trigger any signals or something like that. But we are doing legitimate business, so I'm not worried about it.
When we've talked about this before, we did a podcast before this talking about the five main questions people have about microsites. So if people haven't watched that, make sure to go over there. But one of the biggest ones is like, how would you be considered a PBN? How would you be found out? If Google had one of their quality raters look at your batch of microsites, they look very similar. Okay, but is a rater going to go to local business websites and look around? Probably not.
Nah, I don't think so.
But
No.
even if they do, that same logic would then say Astra theme or whatever theme on WordPress could trigger that PBN type of concept. So highly unlikely if you use
Yes.
hosting that you're one marble out of a million. I mean, probably.
Domain name registration, very much the same. So we want to register with one of the big ones. You could do AWS, GoDaddy, Cloudflare, Namecheap are all very good options, whichever you prefer. Yeah,
All right. So I got my niche. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm building it out. I've deployed now, right? So I have the words on the website. Have I done now the images as well, which kind of take longer, right?
yeah. After deployment, I want to say content is more part of the build out phase. So we have deployed the website, it's just an empty shell, but everything, the entire structure is in place, so to speak. And then we're gonna build it out. So we seed it with like the main values, the company name and things like that. We upload our CSV of locations we want to target, and then we create a couple of service pages, very quick. We have a shortcut in the panel. It's very quick to set that up. So we have the service pages, we have the locations, we have the basic values of the website, and now we can start generating all of the content. And that is as easy as pressing play, to be honest. So for each page, we go to the backend, we press generate, it generates the entire page based on all of the examples we have created for it over the last year and a half, and also pretty intricate prompting. So it's multi-step prompting. So we layer several prompts for each generation task, let's say. So this is all integrated. So it just pings OpenAI or any AI model you would like to use. It gives it all of these prompts and all of these examples, so a lot of context. and a specific instruction for generate this field for this page for this company. And that takes about, I think, half an hour to do the entire site. The location pages are templated, so you just generate it once with a couple of variables for the location, and that's that. And then all of the home page is ready. Now we need to build the images, and that takes people a little bit longer most of the time. So getting really good images, it could take like a couple of hours to do the entire site. But then we are doing pretty advanced image generation, I want to say. So members that are very good at this, I've seen very impressive examples where they do like company logos on the shirts and on the van. They do the color scheme in all the company clothing. They do character references where they have the supposed owner in multiple images with the crew and on the job site and things like that. And then it takes 2-3 hours maybe to generate it that way. But that is if you're very particular, I want to say.
It might be worth the extra hour to just do it right. It's funny to me that the words, and it makes sense, right? We're in the world of AI now. The words are the easiest part. The content. I remember building websites, 50-page websites that took forever to build, local business websites, because someone had to
Yeah,
go in and write every single page. And then we had AI spinners that would spin up, blah, blah, blah. It takes a half an
yeah.
hour to create a whole 50-page website. And the hardest part is images. I mean, it's kind of silly in some regard, like kind of funny.
The images are gonna be easier as well over time. So that you could use APIs and the similar multi-layered prompting and things like that to automate the images as well. For now, we do it by hand because it's not. We haven't gotten it right there where we're happy with it. But yeah, this is a whole different world. I believe in the last podcast, one of the questions was, why is this such an exciting opportunity? And I think it's because microsites and local SEO and AI is like this intersection, or it's like a perfect synergy for where we're at with AI, I think. So the reason it's so exciting is because AI enables us to do this kind of scale, do really good content in the thousands of websites with like for like pennies and seconds of work. And that is a whole new world. There's a whole new opportunity we didn't have before.
We, I mean, me and you created niche websites with AI. And then yet again, the helpful content update wiped that concept out. We created websites using 100% AI. I was making a lot of money with that. You were making a lot of money with that. But niche websites are no more. And it wasn't because, I don't think it was because Google found, okay, that's AI content, like the words are AI, we found you. It was more of like a broad stroke, right? They're going to rank Reddit
Yeah,
over anything now. They're going to use AI overviews. But local SEO, Google has already put their layers on top of the internet. They already have the map pack. They already have, the card to the right with the reviews. They've already messed with it. The SERPs are the SERPs for local business, and AI just crushes it.
I agree. I think the Google's going to be like the new yellow pages for local SEO, and that is what we see with the map pack and things like that. Their infrastructure is way more about validating businesses, measuring conversion and things like that, and then servicing the best businesses. And so this what we're doing is just one route to get like your foot in the door inside the yellow pages. If you have the top listing in the yellow pages, now you can build out an entire business behind it, and that is completely legitimate. And I think the niche websites, I think we had like a somewhat of an inside source say that the engineers at Google said we can do this information synthesis that niche publishers are doing. We can do that ourselves with AI. So what is the point of having them rank? And so I agree. I think we were more collateral than anything else. I know one of my websites, I wrote hundreds of thousands of words for that website. I took like books with research that were not on the internet at all, like 100-year-old books. So this was good content. This was like quality content, helpful content. And I was actually adding to the internet, but that thing got hammered like no other site I had. I don't think that is because a human took a look at it and thought this is a bad site. It's just it had these patterns, and they figured this is not useful to the internet as a whole, like this entire group of websites.
To Google's benefit, I will say that I think the SERPs are better now for a lot of terms. I mean, I enjoy not having to go to 30 different niche websites to,
Yes,
so.
I agree. I agree a lot. I remember and this is, I'm not bashing anyone, but the recipe, there were like a class of recipe websites where people had, they purposefully put like the ingredients at the bottom, and then it was like a 2,000 word story about their grandma. And that is, it's just, they're taking me along for the ride just to get the ad impressions. And while I sympathize with that because I was in that position as well, it's not a good user experience. So I think what Google is doing is probably for the better in the
Going
long
full
run.
circle, Google has already done its stuff on local business, local SEO. And that's why I'm excited, right? AI, local SEO, no brainer. So while you were talking about that, I was thinking, you're right. Google does rank things partially off of user engagement, right? That came out in the DOJ court case. And they said forever they don't track Chrome data, they don't track user engagement, but they do. And what's interesting with our microsites is if someone comes onto a microsite and they call the number, Google likely will know that interaction. And people, when they call our AI agents, because all of our website is AI, the images are AI, the robot that answers the call is AI. But to Google, it's perceived as a good user experience because it is. In 5 minutes on the call, boom, our websites, I think, likely get verified as like, oh, that was a good user experience. Let's rank it even higher.
I agree. I think 24/7 answering, we have the data to back this up. If people are consistently phoning 2, 3, 5, 6 minutes, um, and it's consistent, so we have very few people complaining about the AI or hanging up on it. And so the real leads, there's always spam, of course, but the real leads are consistently 2 minutes plus, I think. So people don't mind. They get an immediate answer. Um, they are helped, and it is an actual conversion. So I think Google likes that a lot. It's way better than somebody calling the number, the contractor not picking up, and they bounce to the second best result on the SERP. That is not a good a good conversion. So that is going to be a bounce and a bad metric for your rankings.
Now, I mean, I had a personal experience. I wanted a dumpster for my house. I wanted to throw away some stuff. I called 3 companies, no one answered. Had any of them answered, even if it was an AI agent, I would have given them my
Yeah,
credit card. I mean, I wouldn't have given the AI agent, but at least I would have felt heard.
I agree. I've had an experience in the Netherlands where I'm located as well, where I think people are more skeptical even of AI, but it's just better to be helped by an AI for like 50 or 60% than not being helped at all. It's very frustrating to put in all these calls, request callbacks, and just not getting through. It's very frustrating. So I think it's for the better.
And to be clear, what our AI agents do is they'll answer the phone. They're already programmed to know what the company's about, what they can and cannot talk about, right? And basically what
Yeah,
they're
they
doing is
never mention
qualifying.
price.
Sorry.
They never mention price. They don't recommend anything. They don't discuss like the job at hand, apart from getting all of the like the outline of the job, like the job scope. But then they don't give the customer any um, what do you call it? Yeah, no, like contents that a contractor should take a look at.
Like recommendation. It's all qualifying questions. It's question, question, question. And then
Yes,
it reiterates at the end of the call, okay, Mr. Jones, just to clarify, your phone number is this, your address is this, and this is what you're looking for. He's like, yes. Okay,
exactly,
great. We'll have someone call you back here, blah, 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 blah. And then the lead gets
exactly.
shipped off to the client, speed the lead. They need to call them up, close the sale.
Yes.
So we're still in the build out phase. If we look at the screenshot of the diagram, we have, yeah, what else did we miss here? Did we hit all the beats?
I think so. Yeah, we register a phone number. We set up the voice AI assistant, which is all templated as well, and they work very well right out of the box. So then we go to the next phase, which is publication.
Application, which seems pretty simple. We just index, we
Yes.
request indexing. Oh, let's be clear. We don't hook up our microsites to any Google product.
No, we don't. No. No analytics, no search console. And that is again a preventative measure. So it's not that we couldn't. It's just we want to isolate all of the sites, and if we have to verify those sites under separate email addresses, like Google Search Console accounts, not just properties, that would be very tedious. So we just opted to not do it. We don't want to tie all of our sites together under one Google account.
Friend who did that, hundreds of good websites that had
Yes.
Google business profiles with reviews gone.
I remember when that happened, yeah. And that was like an eye opener because they didn't do anything particularly wrong, I think. I think they did like regular SEO. I don't know if they had client websites in there as well, but something flagged them and then the entire portfolio just got smashed, which was very rough.
So I guess it comes back to the tinfoil hats that we both wear. I mean, my websites during HCU were manually banned because of, I'm a YouTuber, whatever. So, I mean, we take preventative measures. We use things like Omega Indexer to request index and push index in live. We use citations, cheap citation offers off of Fiverr, Web 2.0s, and
Yeah.
we let it cook. But we've seen community members not even do that, and they still rank just naturally.
Yeah, it's wild. So the citations, we don't overcomplicate things. It's cheap citations. It's not any like wizardry or something like that. Just some freelancer on Fiverr that has a good track record, and we pay him, I don't know, couple like 10, $20 or something. And then we have a footprint, but we've had sites rank without the citations as well, and members have, I believe, like this week or last week, there was one member, no backlinks, no citations, and they ranked number one in 3 weeks or something. Insane. It's quite impressive.
And we don't, another strategy where people build a microsite or a website, whatever you want to call it. I think microsite is just a term we coined, but these are rank and rent websites. People will build these and they'll invest thousands of dollars into one.
Yeah,
Whereas our philosophy is to build them cheap, keep them cheap, see which ones rank, and then support that one. In other words, it might cost us sub $50 to create one, sub $30,
mhm.
cost $2.50 to host it. And when we find a winner, we start to consider, ooh, should we do Google Business Profile? Should we push it even further? We don't want to spend a lot of money out the gates. I, I, I think the game has changed because we can spin up hundreds of these without much issue.
Exactly. So one interesting conceptualization here is it's like SEO has been flipped on its head. So I don't know, what is the subscription fee for Ahrefs nowadays?
I mean, we pay two something, right?
So if you'd say, right, I have keyword research tools, couple of $100 a month, a site costs me perhaps 20, $30 to build out, 50 if I do citations. If I do the labor myself, it's like zero. All right, so how many websites can I spin up to do like actual field research for me, keyword research in for the cost of the Ahrefs subscription? Depending on how you do it, it could be like tens or 20, like dozens per month. And so now we are not speculating, we are just building. And the big advantage of that is we don't waste money and time on projections and research. We have actual data and we hit the ground running. So if something takes off, we already have the site built out instead of doing the keyword research, finding like the exact content plan and things like that. And so that is a very interesting idea, I think, that building out the actual sites could be faster and cheaper than doing like extensive keyword research. And then SEO has been flipped on its head entirely.
Yeah. Has that ever happened before? Like, I'm trying to think of another SEO opportunity in the past where building was more relevant than doing the research. I think it's a
I
function
don't think
of,
so.
I don't think so either. I think it's a function of competition. The competition is so low on local SEO that you can do this.
Well, I think with a like if we nuance that a little bit, the competition is so low for people that are leveraging AI like fully. If you use all these tools and you use like the auto-generating content and you have dialed that in, then it's incredibly fast and cheap. But there are many people doing it the old school way, and then it can take like a $1,500 month engagement to do one site, and it takes 6 months to build out. And so you could go that route, and then yeah, that is going to be rough, and then the competition is pretty steep, I think. So if you leverage the new technology that is at hand, then it's flipped on its head, and then it's very easy, I think.
In reality, I mean, you say 1,500 to build out a website. If a local contractor goes to a firm for a custom WordPress website, 20, 60,000 dollars. I've gotten quotes close to six figures for a website, a custom WordPress website. And then we come along with our $10 microsite that can outrank them. And in not only
Yeah,
one,
that's rough.
it's rough. How
Yeah,
about
we
we
do
build,
5.
yeah, exactly. We'll build five in your local area. You build your one. It takes you 6 months. It takes us one day. We'll see who's
Exactly.
ahead, in a couple months.
Yeah. And then you have perhaps you have the top slot or position 2 or 3, and you're very like entrenched. You have like a very consolidated website that is very well built out. But we take all the slots around it, and so whose ROI is going to be better? Even if you take the top slot, if we have 2, 3, and 5, I think we're going to have comparable lead flow for a fraction of the cost.
Just a different way of looking at it. I like it. All right, so next step, we've done ideation, deployment, build out, publication, and now exploitation.
That's right. So now we come to the good part, the monetization phase. We do a couple of things. So first of all, we want to track our performance. So we do site monitoring. We use a pretty expensive tool for that. You don't need that at all. We do track keyword positions with that, but you could go off just lead flow alone and not care about the positions at all. So we use VAPI, the voice AI agent, to transcribe the leads and then send them to us and the client. We have a system built out in our CRM where we keep track of all the leads. We have a spam filter. There's a VA that manually goes through the leads and approves them. So there is a human in the loop qualifying these leads by hand to make sure no spam or irrelevant leads go to the client. And then we pass the leads on to the client. We have a nice email that is generated every time. They can print a report, they get the audio recording, they get a summary of the transcript, the address, the scope, all these things. So it's very quick for one of our clients to just take a look at the email, see what's what, and contact the lead. And then so the exploitation phase is where the money's made, of course, but I think we have a little bit of work to do there because we've been a little bit inconsistent with getting clients for the leads. So a lot of leads go to waste. I think we have thousands of dollars of leads coming in monthly that are not
Tens of thousands,
monetized as of now.
tens of thousands of dollars.
Probably, yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't, I'm scared to look, to be honest.
If we get a rev share deal on some of our niches, yeah, it'll be tens of thousands of dollars. But I mean, so what happened is in September, we decided to do a community, right, on school.
Mhm.
We were like Alex Hormozzi's part, stakeholder. We've heard about it. It looks good. Okay, let's do it. And fast forward 3 months, we have one of the fastest growing school communities on the platform. It's awesome, right? Very grateful. And I think it's because
Yeah,
the microsite concept is people are starting to like grasp it, like, oh, wait a second. Okay, I get it. And the cool part is
yeah,
the reason we're so apt to share is because what I was describing earlier, there's no real competition. It's a blue ocean because in America alone, if there's 50 states, how many cities are within each state? Say 10. All right. So there's like, and then how many niches are there? Hundreds of niches. If you do the math, there's like 100,000 plus different opportunities, hundreds of thousands probably. No one's going to
yeah.
step on each other's toes unless you do it deliberately. So there's pie here for everyone. That's how I feel.
I agree. Yeah, the pie is very, very big. Yeah, blue ocean is a good term for it. I don't think I've encountered a lot of real blue ocean opportunities, but this is definitely one. And you can tell by how people interact with each other in the community because people are not they don't have this limited mindset or competitive mindset. They're very helpful, and people are very open and sharing their sites and feedbacking each other's sites. So that has been great fun. It's really a big pleasure.
Great. All right, well, let's do another video here shortly, but thanks, Shawn. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
So there you have it. Thank you, Shawn, for taking the time with us today. And if you want the system, it's in the Rank Expand Academy. Hopefully this kind of cleared out some fog of war if you had any before. It's a very systematized process. Like we do the same thing every single time because it works for us, right? And we're going to give you that same exact system in the Academy. Hundreds of other people are doing it right now. You'll have support if you jump in there. If you have questions, you'll get answers. So hopefully I see you in there. If not, check out the other videos. We had a podcast before this one with Shawn about the 5 most frequently asked questions for microsites. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll check you on the next one.